let me know, bro.
YouTube, we have QB. You got top 4 today with Exosister, right?
I did.
Is it the best deck?
It's the best deck. I'm sorry to tell everybody. But when X won, one loss was a Sprite because I messed up. Otherwise,
probably would have been undefeated.
Yep.
All right, see your list.
So
how many cards is this?
41, because it's the best number in the game. Best card in the deck, Martha. Basically, if you don't know what she does, she activated her effect in hand, summons Ellis from deck, tours out of rank 4, but you're locked into Exosisters that turn. And she's the only one where, if as the player you banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, she can Zodiac summon over herself. All the rest have your opponent has to move their own cards. Oops, I'm in the wrong order. Ellis, the next best one. She's just the extender. Goes with Martha. When you're grinding, you just need to make sure that you're keeping track of how many you have in your deck. Because if you don't, then you can't Martha, and Martha's the best card of your deck. Stella, the next best one. I played 3 of each one because I want to make sure that having multiple names, maxing out these ones makes
essentially a way to keep playing.
Yeah, maxing out names gets you to makes the I don't know its name, but it searches as Martha, and that's all that matters. And of the other ones, I decided to play 2 Sophia and 2 Irene. Playing 2 Irene because I'm playing card in my deck. I'm playing Desires over Prosperity. When I played at the Dallas Regional last week, it came up a lot where I'd go Sophia draw and then be Prosperity, and I'd get pissed off, and it could just be Desires, and it just doesn't matter because your games aren't lasting that long anyway. So like having multiple and having Irene's like okay because if you Desires, banish like multiple Ellises, you can summon Irene, put the Ellis in your hand back into your deck, and then still resolve Martha for the next turn. So it comes up for his actual effect sometimes.
Okay.
Gotta play hand traps, so 2 Ogre, 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 Shifter, and 3 Imperm.
Basically all hand traps that can interact under Shifter.
Except for Ogre. Ogre's just like trades well against the Sprite deck, so it's just good. And you don't really need a lot of cards for the tier deck because it should be a favorable matchup for you as long as they don't super poly you into Oblivion. Also play Dark Ruler. These are supposed to be talents. Just for the same fact that like if you're playing Desires, Martha automatically forces interactions, so having talents to draw more cards just to see Vadis and Retineer so you can search the other one. 1 Armament. I don't like this card actually. This card was good. First time I played it today. Basically what it does is on your opponent's turn it lets you Zodiac summon. You can activate it on your turn if your opponent has a monster summon from the graveyard. But it basically just lets you Zodiac on their turn. So when you draw like name plus like set 3, you can't make it something. You just have this and you can make something still. Call by the Grave, card's crazy, probably should be banned. Pot Desires. So I decided to go with this over Prosperity just because like banishing the engine in the deck doesn't really matter. Just drawing cards matters because you need them against like Sprite and things like that. And comes with a lot of issues when you're playing through boards and you only have 2 forms of interaction. You need like more like Dark Ruler talents to keep like breaking their board. And then the other Exosister cards, 3 packs, 2 that is to return you. Cards can be a 3 because searches Martha. There's Gear. If you didn't play back then, basically you summon a name out from the deck, and then you have to summon the coordinating name that's mentioned in this text from the deck. If you're playing the deck, make sure if you're going to summon Martha, make sure you summon it first so that you can summon Ellis, or else you get locked into Stella. Returnia, basically what it does is lets you banish a card in the field or grave from the banish them, and then if you exceed summon that turn already, you get to banish another card on the field. And if you have the like 2 level 4s or 2 exceeds, you basically can just quick exceed summon if you want to. Basically, when I play the deck, I try my best not to use Vadis unless it's like both of them are going to resolve, like both of the names that you bring out are going to resolve. And if you can just hold it for your turn, it's basically like having Gear for your turn. So, that's my main deck. It's 41 cards. Best token in the land, my boys. Best person from One Piece, you already know. The rest of the tokens don't matter. Extra deck, 3 Michaelis. It's the one you make every game. Basically, quick effect, banish a card, and effects. So detach to search at Exosister spell or trap. Basically, you just want to trade when you summon this. You just want to trade with a monster. You just get as many trades as possible, so before it gets hand trapped, because this card's gonna get hand trapped. So you just try and get like 3 trades with it. Magnifica, it's really good against Sprite. You make this a lot because it interacts 3 times against their deck, so you get 2 banishes, and then if you have their trap set, then it's hard for them to play because they still needed like an extra extender or card to negate Magnifica. If you don't have a card to negate Magnifica, then it just gets a lot of value and then gives you follow up as well. This Caspatil, sorry, I don't really know this one first name. Locks them out of special summoning, locks both players from special summoning from the graveyard, and then also searches a monster. So when you do the Magnificent play, you make this, search Martha, or search whatever other name you need so you can put Michaelis on the board and search out return your Vadis. Dweller, basically what this is. This other effect lets you bounce a monster back to the deck. I don't know this one's name, but basically it's a effect veiler, quick effect when it's summoned that turn, and then it gives all your Exceeders 800. I'm pretty sure it's a lingering effect, so like you can activate it and then make Magnificent and it'll be at 36. Nice. These are all the non-Exosister cards. Taper, I'm scared of Flu, so you can if you play against Flu, you can just make this and then they passes their turn. Zeus comes up in the grind, and I play Slayer, so playing these three. These are all the +1 Slayer targets, basically.
Yeah.
No, and then I line up for Nib, so you can Nib, put their thing in attack mode, and then sometimes you can't play because Martha you have to have no monsters or only Exceed monsters, so you turn to Exosister and name it a Nib and crash it so you can search Martha for next turn, and you just hope you don't die. Side deck, still working on it. I need more cards that interact with Sprite decks. These cards have back rows, should be evenly. I'm poor. This card for Slayer. Card's really good. Always trades 2 for 1.
Yeah.
I think it's really strong.
Do you think this card or Dark Ruler is stronger?
I think Dark Ruler is stronger right now because the way it interacts with Sprite. But overall, I think Slayer. I think you should play both right now if you have the extra deck space for it, which most decks do. And then my going first cards are 3 Solemn Judgment and 2 Dimensional Barriers. Yeah, these are just going first cards. You just want to make sure you don't get blown out by like Duster, Lightning Storm evenly. Those cards kind of blow you out of the game sometimes. So whenever you go first, post side, most people don't keep a Nib against you, so you just make sure you make Magnifica because that card interacts enough. And then you just, hopefully you draw Solemn Judgment and don't get blown out. And then my last card's Regeki.
Nice.
I think the card's strong against Tier. I think it's strong. It's strong in the mirror because beats Returnia.
By blowing up their Magnifica.
Yeah. So like Returnia, you have to have at least 1 Exosister monster, so it's good in the mirror. It's fair against Sprite. It's a blowout card. The only worry is that like people playing a pointer, things like that, having pure going second cards can be kind of rough unless you just draw too many of them at that point. So still working on the side deck so it interacts better with Sprite more than anything else. It's the best deck. I don't know what to do.
All right, well, thank you, QB, and congratulations on your top 4 today. You're going to get first from now on, right?
Always.
All right, thank you.
They have to draw reboot, Duster to win. It's the only way.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Take care.